This video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to never let negative people affect you again. I think this video can change your life in understanding how to take your power back and not let other people bring you down. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ways that you can make it so that negative people don't affect your energy anymore. Understanding that you can begin to become, instead of the cameo in everyone else's movie, you can become the star of your own movie. To a place to where when people come up to you to affect you in a certain way, or if their intention is to bring you into the same emotion they're feeling, I know that that happens a lot, that you're able to just maintain your frame and be in the state that you prefer. Now, the reason I'm doing this video is because I get asked it so often. So many people ask me, they say, Aaron, how do I make it so negative people don't affect me? This is happening in my life and I feel like it's bringing me down. What do I do so that these people don't affect me? And there's always a couple different answers I have. So what I'm going to do is making this video so that from now on, I can just send people to this video and it kind of explains everything. So when it comes to this process, understand that first off, the idea to understand is that the most important thing is not what happens in your life, it is what and how you respond to what happens. Your response to what happens is what determines almost everything in your life, because this is the thing. Our state of being, how we feel, creates our life experience. Now think about it like this. We feel a certain way, we go out into the world, we always experience things that are equal to the vibration of what we are feeling and what we are putting out. So if we are feeling a certain way, we go out into the world and say we feel disempowered, other people are going to be able to quote unquote take advantage of us because they are playing off of that vibration. They can feel it, and it's almost like in a way we attract people that are of that vibration subconsciously, and part of it may be because we believe that is what we deserve. Now the thing is you deserve more than other people taking advantage of you. You deserve more of other people than them bringing you down. But the first thing you have to do is you have to take responsibility for your own state. You have to take responsibility. Think about what responsibility means. Responsibility is the ability to respond. Now the difference is normally when we're asking the question, why is it these people affect my energy in a negative way? What we are implying is that they are doing that to us. No one is ever doing anything to you without first your permission. Now, what this means is that if somebody is negatively trying to affect you, the only way you will experience that negative effect from them is if you agree to it at some level, as if you say, yes, that is what is happening. Now, let me give you an example. This is one example that I've used before. If somebody were to come up to you right now, if somebody came up to me right now and was like, hey, Aaron, I hate your purple shirt. I think it looks so dumb and blah, 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 and therefore you're dumb. If they were to say that, I would look at it, but the thing is it wouldn't actually affect me because I wouldn't even agree to the premise that the shirt I'm wearing is purple. So the idea is that I don't have to internalize whatever is being said. I don't have to internalize that of the purple shirt comment because it's something that doesn't affect me because I don't even relate to it. You see, the thing is it only affects us when we're in that reaction mode. But the key is to shift out of reaction and instead shift into response. And the one thing we always have the ability to do is to respond. That's what responsibility is, the ability to respond. So the first way to never let negative people affect your energy is by understanding that you have the ability, you have the frame of choosing your response to external stimulus. And as you choose that response, you can choose to not relate to what they're saying. Imagine that they come up to you and they're telling you they hate your purple shirt, but you're not wearing a purple shirt. You don't have to relate to what they say. You could be like, okay, well, obviously either they don't see colors the right way, or you just don't agree and you think there's maybe something crazy with them. You don't want to judge them, but I'm just using that as an example. So the idea is to not identify with whatever they say. Now, the second way that you don't let negative people affect your energy is by letting go of the label of other people being negative. Now, this is something that sometimes, in a way, the expectations we have for people, this is something I've been diving more into understanding. But when we're around other people, people a lot of times are responding to the way that we expect them to respond. So for example, if you were to go somewhere and talk to someone and expect them to be negative, they're more likely to be negative if you have that expectation of them, because in a way they almost link up to it. However, if you have an expectation that they start to become more positive, they may actually go the other way around. Now, what I recommend is actually not having it one way or the other to where you expect them to be positive, expect them to be negative. You can set the intention that you have more positive interactions through your day, but what you could do is you could just not label them as being negative, and by not labeling them as being negative, what ends up happening is then they don't have as much effect over you, and in a way you're not toning them into that vibration. You're not toning them into that expectation. So it's about being aware of your own labels, because sometimes even as you start to say that this person is negative, what'll happen is that will cause you to also link up with more and more negative people because of the identification in your own mind. So it's about being aware of that label. Now, that's something that I went through because I realized that when I was especially first going through my spiritual awakening, I was around a lot of people that had more of that kind of response, especially to what I was sharing or if I was talking about it. And what I would do is instead, I would say, okay, I wouldn't put them in this category as negative. I remember there was this guy I used to work with at Barney's, New York, when I used to have my sales commission job before I went full-time on YouTube. And everyone there thought he was like the most negative person. And everyone there treated him and always talked like bad behind his back and stuff. And I would always go out of I'm kind of always the kind of person that would always go and root for the underdog. So in a way, I would never talk bad about him. But what I would do is I would be friends with him. And what I found is that because I treated him differently than everyone else experienced the negative side of him. When he was around me, he was actually a lot more positive because I wouldn't label him as such. And I was not trying to control how he was, but I was just in my own frame. You see, like I was talking about at the beginning, when you instead are the star of your own movie, you take yourself out of the cameo role and you're not trying to be in everyone else's movie, that's when everything begins to change. Now, the third way that you don't let negative people affect you is a combination of two things. One, it is stop people pleasing. This is something that's hard because it's in a way like social conditioning. But what we can begin to do is understand that we must have our cup full before we can give to other people. And what we can begin to do is at the same time understand that it's okay to say no. You see, as you change your vibration, what will happen is as you change your vibration, you will begin to resonate with new people. But sometimes what will also happen is some people will fall out of your life. Some people that no longer resonate. And you have to let that be okay. That's just kind of a part of the process. But people that fall out, there may be a momentum going where those things remain attached for a while, but eventually they end up going away. But you have to trust the process and know that it is part of the process. So it may seem kind of scary. You may let go of a couple friends that are negative around you, and what will happen is you let them go, and it's scary because like, well, what are you going to do now? But the thing is, if you trust the process, then you leave room for people to come in. You then have time for allowing someone else, someone new to come in that is of more of that positive vibration. So it's okay to say no. If someone's asking you to hang out and they drain your energy every time you're around them, it may be time to say no. If you're going to compromise your own energy and you're going to compromise your own state, then it may not be a good thing, because that person may be locking you into a certain level of perception in your reality because it's constantly bringing your vibration down. Now, of course, you can do the first two parts of what I'm talking about and maintain your own state, but there are times that people simply are set in their own ways, and it's kind of, we'll always think, oh, well, if I bring all my friends with me, bring them all up to a high vibe, well, it's possible, but it's best to just focus on you. So focus on you. It is okay to say no. It is okay to start to let go of the necessity to people please. And this is something that when you start to do, you start to maintain your own vibration. Where does the need to people please come from? It most likely comes from a level of deservability. I'm not worthy unless everyone else is happy as well. Or I went through a lot of pain growing up, so I want other people to just simply be happy. But the key is knowing that the way you affect other people is by a contagious type energy. Reframe the idea of people pleasing. Instead of thinking of it like you have to make other people happy, instead be and remain in your own authentic expression of who you are, be at your core, and that will inspire other people to be at their core, but maintain your own state, maintain your own frame. It's only when we get out of our star role and we try to get into the cameo role of everyone else and make everyone else happy that we start to do someone else's job. And when we do someone else's job, we take on the emotional baggage of that job. But it's not your job. So the key is to let go of needing to people please. Let go when it's okay to say no to people that are draining your energy. And by saying no to that, you're saying yes to something else. Always remember that. By saying no to this, you're also saying yes to this. You know, I run a business and I'm busy a lot. And there's sometimes that people want to do things or hang out and stuff. And sometimes I have to say no. But by saying no to that, I'm saying yes to something else. And maybe by saying it has to do with understanding the priorities. Now, of course, there is time that I make for spending time with family or spending time with and just enjoying myself, like I'm on vacation right now in an Airbnb with my buddy Victor. And this is times that I will, let go. Of course, I'm still filming a video because I'm in the habit of doing it. But the rest of the day today, going jet skis, doing some cool stuff. And that's the intention for it, you see. But by normally having the priorities straight, everything else begins to align. So remember that you don't have to agree to the reality of someone else trying to make you feel negative. Understand those people many times aren't trying to make you feel negative. They're just in a pattern of making you feel what they feel. But let go of the label of them being negative and understand that you always have the ability to respond in how you choose. And that as you take your power back, you start to switch the energy dynamic. This is about being empowered, not about trying to control other people, but by observing them and not labeling them as negative. If you label them as negative, that will become the reality. You will almost pull that out of them in a way because of your expectation itself. Remember that by saying no to someone, you're saying yes to someone else. By saying no to some activity that will bring you down, you're saying yes to more energy. You are then increasing your state of being. As you increase your state of being, you experience a reality that is more equal to that which you want to experience. And that's when eventually with momentum, you will not experience as many negative people in your life. The more I've refined my vibration over the years, and I'm not saying I'm enlightened, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've noticed that there's less and less negative people in my life because of that, because I'm able, in a way, to maintain my own vibration without being at the whim of the environment. And because of that, just things don't resonate as much. So it's almost like that momentum begins to build. So trust that process. Understand that if you do these three things, they can change your life. And you may let go of things that no longer serve, but you will allow room for things that do serve. So if you want to learn how to raise your vibration as well, this will help you with that whole process. I have an absolutely free meditation in the top of the description box below on raising your vibrational set point. I recommend you listen to it for 21 days to get the maximum benefit out of it. Also, I'm going to be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. And if you want to see me, I'll be going on a lot of trips and stuff soon. You want to follow the journey along like the one I'm on right now, you go to follow me on Instagram right below. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification gear so that you can see the daily vids that I do. The way YouTube does things now is you actually have to hit that button to see that. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.